One of the many things that has changed in jiu-jitsu since I started a long time ago is this idea of the mat enforcer. We didn't used to have that. Like back in the day, you had to be your own mat enforcer. So here's the thing. I'm not sure if I understand the whole concept, but I believe a mat enforcer is that person, usually a guy, who if somebody comes in and they're too rough, or if it's a regular student and they're too rough, the mat enforcer roughs them up. And here's the thing about that. Like I can understand, I guess on one I can understand it. I don't know why I have the disco lights, but I do, and I don't want to redo this. But at the same time, I feel like the mat enforcer kind of perpetuates some bad habits. Like first of all, if the idea is that the person is being too rough, how is roughing them up going to solve that problem? What you are doing is modeling the kind of behavior that you supposedly don't want. So the person, whether it's a trial class guy or girl or just a student, maybe a new student or whatever, it might be a student who's been with you a long time and they're just they're and you feel like they're being too rough or whatever, so the mat enforcer's roughing them up. You are perpetuating this bad habit, this thing that you supposedly want to get rid of, because what the person understands is, oh, this person respects me enough to go hard. This person went really hard with me and I held my own. Like the person who is being roughed up or who is being too rough, they're being that way because they don't know any better. I don't think anyone, well, I don't think a lot of people intentionally say, oh, I'm going to go be an asshole today. I'm going to be way too rough today. I'm going to be way too rough with girls today. That person, like in jujitsu, that when you step onto a jujitsu mat, it's basically you're crawling out of the womb of normal life into the crib of jujitsu. You are a newborn, right? You don't know shit. And so and then you're in the hands of your parents, who may be good parents, who may not be good parents. Who Most parents, the thing is that what they have in common is that they're all human and they're all going to make a mistake. So maybe you came up that way. I know that I came up really rough, both in my real life and in my jujitsu life. People were just rough, and I was rough too because that's what I experienced. So then when I trained in other gyms and people said I was too rough, I didn't understand it, because I'm like, I've been injured a million times that I've never injured anyone. And I got injured not in submissions, which I think is usually your fault if you get injured in a submission. I got injured just like in random positions with people flailing around. But the point I'm trying to make is people don't know if they're behaving in a way that doesn't fit in with your gym culture. Then someone needs to explain it to them. So I feel like, yeah, mat enforcer, that's a great idea, but a mat enforcer of communication, because I can understand how the head coach doesn't necessarily want to take that on, especially if there's a risk of scaring away a new student, a new source of income. So have a mat enforcer be someone who explains how things work. Hey, this is how we do it in this particular gym. And they could even play devil's advocate. I don't really agree with it. I feel like we go too soft here, but this is the way that we like to train. This is the way my professor likes people to train. Blame the professor. Play good cop, bad cop. Explain it to the person in a way that they understand, so that they know what to do. Because otherwise, if you're modeling that going really hard and roughing people up is desirable, is good, then they're going to continue to do that, right? And so in the interest of retaining students, the students who were already there and this student who walked in the door, use your voice that God gave you and communicate. And I do understand men don't really like communication. They don't like words. They communicate in different ways. So I can understand how sometimes when you use the words and the words don't work, then you resort to this other way. All I'm saying is I think that there's a better way. Now, in general, I believe that prevention is better than cure. So rather than let it get to that point, I would explain, when you have new people, explain, this is how we do it in this gym. I went to a check mat one time in the high desert, and the guy before class, he was like, we have 2 rules, here's the rules, blah blah blah. It was for my benefit. I was a purple belt female. I wasn't, going to kill anybody, but I thought that was a really good way to do it. So rather than wait for someone to get injured, explain what you want from the get-go.